So I heard you guys are just like two regular guys now, retired from podcasting. How's that working out?
Just working Joe's.
Yeah,
Just day jobs all the way down.
We left the game.
The day jobbers, as we'll say. The day jobbers.
You were there.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mondo Freako. I got the day jobbers with me here today, and we're going to talk about some weird stuff. How are you guys doing, day jobbers? That's going to be your new thing. I'm going to change the graphic from just two regular guys to day jobbers now.
Fantastic. I'm still recovering from Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to you? Did you get hit by a car?
I just ate too much.
Okay. Your stomach.
Yeah.
No. No, I'm good. I mean, you could change us to the day jobbers now because I have a job now. So,
Oh, you have a job? That's even better.
That's always good,
Fantastic. Now you can pay you what you owe me now. So that's fantastic.
Oh yeah. No, I'll
be
right
putting my
that.
Venmo up on the screen here in just a few minutes.
I'll get right on that.
If you might want to hit that, maybe a QR code, just zap it with your phone. You'll be all good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So thanks for being here today, guys. This little show, we talk about weird stuff. And I know Robert said he brushed up on it, but I don't know if he brushed up on everything.
On all the weird stuff.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of weird stuff.
There is a lot of weird stuff. Hence my background here, where I'm standing in a swamp of some sort.
I noticed we're not at your desk.
Yeah, I'm not at my desk. I'm out. This is my backyard, and out in the backyard at the swamp.
Right.
So you guys, are you up for possibly a little quiz on the topic at hand?
Absolutely.
Is it open book?
Set up for failure. Yeah.
Open book?
I got the internet in front of me.
If you're fast with your fingers on the Goog, I think that we could call it open book here. All right.
Well, we've got our researcher on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, really? There's a researcher back there? What is this? Another day jobber?
No, we don't.
No, they don't get paid.
Intern.
No, they don't have a job. Gotcha. Just somebody, the random person that came into the apartment. So here we go. We'll play a little quiz music and get you in the mood.
Quiz.
All right, we have a quiz on the Tina Resch Poltergeist case. Now, you heard anything about Tina Resch before?
No.
I told you. So the way this quiz
is this
goes,
what the movie Poltergeist is based off of?
I don't believe so, but we never know.
Yeah, you never these days.
Because the movie Poltergeist was
there's a movie Poltergeist,
but it was based on some quote real.
Yeah.
Quote real, yeah. So the way the quiz goes, we'll start out with questions that are easier, and then they'll get harder as we go along. At least that's the plan here.
All right. Is this multiple choice or?
Yeah, multiple choice.
Okay.
I'll read the question. I'll read the answers, and you give me what you think is the best answer. How's that?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See how this.
So what was it? The Christy Resch or the
Tina
Resch?
Tina Resch Poltergeist case.
Okay.
All right. In what U.S. state and year did the alleged Tina Resch Poltergeist case activity, also known as the Columbus Poltergeist, hint, hint, wink, wink, primarily take place?
Ohio.
Here are your choices. New York, 1988. California, 1980. Ohio, 1984. Massachusetts, 1979.
You would think.
Ohio.
You already yelled out Ohio. Gosh.
Yep. 1984.
Ohio, 1984 is the correct answer. See, we're getting
this is going to be one of those bait and switches where you it's called the Columbus Poltergeist, but it happened in California for some weird reason.
That's right.
Just had like a hotel called Columbus,
like
Hotel Columbus. No, it was actually
Spanish
Columbus,
flu,
Ohio,
which actually started in Kansas.
Yeah. No, it was Ohio, 1984. You guys got it right. That was an easy one. Easy one. We'll move on. Next question. What common household item was featured in the most famous and controversial newspaper photograph taken during the Poltergeist events, appearing to fly near Tina? of its own, accord here, I suppose.
Listen.
A table lamp. B, a drinking glass. C, a telephone receiver. Or D, a wooden chair.
I'm gonna go with wooden chair.
Yeah,
D.
I'm feeling wooden chair.
Why would it be? I don't think any of those items are controversial, though.
Really? Okay. Well, it wasn't a vibrator, guys. Come on.
Like a bong just floating around.
Tina's bong flew by her face.
Was getting high.
The ghost was like, yeah.
So you guys went with D, wooden chair. Oh, I'm sorry. It was C, telephone receiver. It was the 80s. There was a lot of telephones on long cords. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. But
All
why
right,
was it controversial?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the question.
like
What's controversial?
Well, the controversy was the newspaper photograph.
Okay.
Controversial newspaper photograph. So apparently people didn't believe it.
Oh, yeah, of course, because it's not real.
Well, potentially, yes. Potentially.
I am a ghost skeptic. I do not believe that the ghost
really?
exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
All right, let's move on to question number 3. What specific incident provided the strongest piece of non-anecdotal evidence for skeptics who claimed Tina was faking the phenomena?
She was holding the phone as it flew. She's just talking on it. See, like, look, see, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Woo, yeah, woo.
My hand's just on it, but the ghost really
she's pinching it, right? So A, Tina's adoptive parents publicly confessed that they had orchestrated the entire event.
Oh my God. I hope
B, a video camera inadvertently recorded Tina deliberately knocking over a lamp before reacting in mock surprise. C, investigators found a small motor hidden underneath the couch that was used to shake objects. Or D, skeptics scientifically proved that the thrown phone was a lightweight hollow replica.
I'm going to go with B, the lamp thing. That she knocked over a lamp.
Yeah. You guys in agreement here?
I want the motor to be true, so I'm gonna go with C, the motorized couch.
Oh, the motor under the couch.
Yeah.
And Sense Around. They had Sense Around in their living room back in the day. Well, Robert got it. It was B. A video camera inadvertently recorded Tina deliberately knocking over a lamp just before reacting in mock surprise. You got that one. How many is that? That's 2.
Yeah,
that's 2.
So we got 2 more to go. We are on number 4.
Okay, all right.
Years later, Tina Resch, under her adult name, which was totally different for some reason, Christina Boyer. I guess she got married and changed. I guess maybe her full name.
Christina. I think you can shorten to Tina.
Tina, yeah.
And then, you get married, you change your last name. It's not that weird.
This is where it takes a weird term. Was convicted in connection with the death of her daughter. What specific legal plea did she enter to accept the conviction while simultaneously maintaining her factual innocence?
Ooh, I think
in order to avoid a potential death sentence. That's hardcore here. Now we're zooming into the murder podcast thing.
I know. I was about to say. I thought this was
true crime.
Creepy. Now we're going to true crime, and
we got it's all legal. Over the place. Yeah,
legal up in here.
So A, plea of nolo contendere. B, a standard guilty plea with admission of the facts. C, an Alford plea. Or D, a Magnotten rule plea.
I'm going to go with Magnotten rule plea.
I'm going with C, the Alford plea.
Oh, really?
But I think it's A. But I'm going to go with
You think it's A?
Robert,
C, and D.
Robert's just hedging his bets here.
A sounds very
Since Robert's going A and D, let me do B and C, so we just cover all the bases.
Yeah, let's put a tenor on A, B, and C. Okay, actually,
D is my final answer.
D is your final answer? Okay.
Yeah, C is,
and C, okay. So, and C is the correct answer. I'll give it to you guys. I knew half of you got it, so
I knew that one, actually.
The day jobbers here got it. So, wow, that's good. You got 3. This is the last question. Let's see if we can... well, I guess you've made it over the halfway point, so you're better than 50%. So, let's see if you can push that up a little bit on the last question. A long-standing controversy surrounding the Tina Resch case primarily stems from the direct conflict between which 2 forms of evidence? Here are your choices. A testimony of the foster parents versus the official police report on the initial disturbances. Parapsychologist William Roll's documented observations versus the accidental video footage of the lamp being knocked over. C, the estimated value of the damaged objects versus the amount of insurance money claimed by the family. Or D, the initial newspaper report versus the later segment on the TV show Unsolved Mysteries.
I'm going with D again.
I'm going to go with C just because you always got to follow the money, man. Like, these things get away with it until money gets involved. And then someone's like, okay, everyone's willing to believe in a ghost until someone says, yeah, that ghost cost me $50,000. Then someone shows up and is like, okay, we're going to take a look at this.
Yeah, you can believe in ghosts all you want as long as it doesn't cost us money. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's clearly an act of God. The insurance company doesn't have to pay out under those circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you say God is paranormal in some way, shape, or form?
Well, that's why it was an act of God. They didn't have any control over it.
They're like, yeah, we can't.
Well,
God wanted this to happen. Who are we?
I'm sorry, guys. It was B. Parapsychologist William Rawls documented observations versus the accidental video footage of the lamp getting knocked over.
We should have went with that just because we had already covered that the lamp was part of what.
Yeah, the lamp was part
disproved
of
things. So part of it
but
then I also felt like
job.
This was the hardest question. It had to be a trick.
They brought in a parapsychologist as an expert witness.
Apparently they did.
That's a kangaroo court right there.
Yeah.
They might as well have just had the poltergeist come in and testify.
Well,
I'm assuming we're going to get into this, but I'm still trying to figure out, like, why were the cops involved? Like, since when do you call the cops because of a ghost?
Because there was a murder, right, of a child.
Well, no, I think that was later. That was well after the poltergeist. That was she went into adulthood to be a murderer, apparently.
Gotcha.
Well, then let me tell you about the Tina. A quick few paragraphs about the Tina Rush case. How's that?
Sounds good to me.
Got a little mood music. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. The Tina Rush story, also known as the Columbus Poltergeist case, centered around the 14-year-old Tina Rush, now Christina Boyer, in 1984. Reports emerged from her foster family's home in Ohio that objects, including plates, lamps, and a telephone, were flying or moving on their own, often with Tina as the apparent focal point. Her foster mother contacted a local journalist, which launched the story into the national media sensation, featuring a controversial photograph that appeared to capture the telephone receiver suspended in midair near the frightened teenager. Parapsychologist William Rawls investigated the case and concluded that the events were genuine, spontaneous psychokinesis.
Arrest that man.
Where's he at these days?
We send him to jail. Yeah.
The case quickly became a battleground between believers and skeptics. Critics, notably magician and investigator James Randi, argued that the phenomena were a hoax perpetrated by Tina, who was described as a troubled and attention-seeking adolescent who had experienced trauma.
I love James Randi.
Yeah, James Randi.
He's the best.
Skeptical investigations pointed to anecdotal evidence and questioned the famous photograph's authenticity, suggesting Tina had simply thrown the phone. Crucially,
it did look like she was throwing that phone.
A hidden camera from a visiting television crew once captured footage of Tina deliberately knocking over a lamp and then screaming as if the poltergeist was responsible. This footage led many to dismiss the entire case as a deliberate fabrication. The story took a tragic turn years after the alleged poltergeist activity faded. As an adult going by Christina Boyer, she was arrested and charged in 1982 with the murder of her 3-year-old daughter Amber, who died from a fatal injury while in the care of Boyer's boyfriend, David Heron. To avoid the death penalty, Boyer accepted an Alford plea in 1994, pleading guilty while maintaining her innocence in the crime. She was sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years. The complex and often controversial life of Tina Rush, from the poltergeist kid to a convicted murderer, continues to be a subject of true crime investigation and debate, exploring themes of childhood trauma, media manipulation, and the justice system. Wow. That's a lot to take in there.
I blame Nancy Reagan.
It's always safe to blame the Reagan.
No, because Nancy. So I don't remember the name of the reporter. She spearheaded journalism, and she had herself committed so that way she could write about what was going on inside of an insane asylum.
Oh, insane asylum, yeah.
And then she came out and she wrote that article, and Nancy Reagan saw it and said, "Okay, just shut them all down."
Mm-hmm.
So they just shut down most of the state hospitals across the country and asylums.
Mhm.
And if they hadn't done that, this woman would have gotten the help she needed when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have gone to either murder a child or start dating a guy who murdered her child.
So you're firmly in the camp of not a poltergeist.
Absolutely.
Well,
not a
I mean,
poltergeist.
that's what I was about to say. Is in your telling there, you said, like I said, a hidden camera recorded her knocking over a lamp and then panicking. And I think it just speaks to the state of mankind that your next sentence was leading most to dispel it. And I'm like, most? I feel like everybody should have been like, oh, she's faking it. But the fact that it's just most, and there still was a small port, but it could have been a ghost.
But it could have been.
You know,
Maybe
I mean,
she had like a gas leak, back in the 1980s.
yeah, and there was lead everywhere.
There's a lot of weak gas pipes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was a lot of lead.
And
There
a
was
lot of lead, lots of things. Just
And who
saying.
knows what the companies were pumping into the Ohio River Valley, like
Oh,
water
true.
supply.
Yeah, we
Like
didn't
that
know
stuff is
exactly
still
where
poison.
she lived in Columbus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. A lot of
A lot of PFAS.
yeah, a
Getting
lot
in
of
there.
water,
Yeah, a lot of-
environmental pollution going on
Yeah.
back then, chemical pollution into the waterways.
Yep.
Well, but the interesting thing is that so I'm a little. I mean, not that I believe that she had a poltergeist necessarily from the story, at least from the information that we have. But the interesting thing is, it really does highlight the exploitation of the media, because there's nothing better.
Oh, yeah,
back
absolutely.
then, because we don't have. Back then, you didn't have social media, you didn't have anything like we have going on right now, and a newspaper person, they want to get recognized for their work, and so they go in and they hype something up as much as they can. And so maybe Tina was just, when she got caught with the fakery, maybe something had happened, and then she just wanted to perpetuate it because she liked the
She
attention.
wanted to stir it on.
Yeah, maybe she was egged on by the reporter in order to get, to keep things going. The poltergeist kid became her moniker. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Who doesn't want to be the poltergeist kid?
I
Was
definitely.
she making money off of it? That's the question. Was there money in
Yeah,
being
They
exchanged?
didn't say that
on
she was
some
making
level?
money. I mean, other than potentially,
Doing interviews and
the
stuff like that.
National
Yeah.
Enquirer may have paid her to have a story in it. Or something.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do agree with that idea. Like whether there was a original incident that caused the whole poltergeist hysteria, or whether even that the original incident could have been disproved. But once the media horse is going, it is very hard to stop. Like, yeah, they might want to keep pushing you because it's like, yeah, this is news. This is something that's going to get eyes on your paper or on your news broadcasts and stuff. And then for her and her family, it's like, yeah, especially, in the day before social media, which, I mean, in my opinion, were better days, but still before social media and all the ways that it's easy to get your face out in front of people. Like, if you can suddenly be known because you were, the girl who was being haunted, like, that's a straight access to fame that most people don't have back in those days. Like,
yeah, back in '84.
you can't just pull out your phone and film yourself for 30 seconds doing something ridiculous and throw it up on TikTok back then,
throwing a phone up in the air and taking a picture.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
this was also the height of the Poltergeist films, because the first one came out in '82, and I think the second one came out in '85.
Mhm.
So, like, I mean, that was
Caroline,
That was-
go
that
to the
was-
light.
those movies were all the rage back then.
Mhm.
Yeah. There was a whole thing about. I know you guys. Well, you guys were the former watching it guys. Now just two regular guys. But yeah, so the Poltergeist movie was produced by Steven Spielberg, directed by Tobe Hooper, but the scuttlebutt is Steven Spielberg directed Poltergeist.
Mm.
Do you guys know this?
Interesting. Oh, it's because he was hiding. He didn't want them to know that he was directing it.
Right. Well, no, Tobe Hooper apparently kind of wasn't working out, but he didn't fire him. He just basically directed the film around him, and then still gave him credit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the
hey,
whole thing.
I'll take credit for a very well-known movie that I didn't have to do anything for. I mean, they still cut me them royalty checks because I'm like, I'm all in on that.
I think that they had a strained relationship, but I think they've
Okay.
worked it out since.
I was about to say, if Steven Spielberg is listening, if he wants someone to, come and sit in a director's chair while he actually directs a movie, I mean, I'm I'm available. Like I said,
it's
retired
kinda like
podcaster, so I got some free time.
it's kind of like a Stephen King, Richard Bachman scenario going on a little bit. But the interesting thing to me is maybe there was, I like to let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say there was an actual initial incident that kind of triggered this, right? And something happened, or maybe more than one thing happened, and then once the press gets involved, it's kind of a Schrodinger's cat kind of a situation, right? Yep. And so then it all kind of gets out of control, and everybody just loves the attention, including the foster parents, and it kind of rolls on from there.
So wait, these were her foster parents?
Yeah.
She was a foster kid in their house. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Do we know what happened with her parents?
No.
Or like, why was she in foster situation?
Well, because obviously she was an unwanted child. Apparently.
Well, yeah, she was unwell. She needed.
I mean, I feel like the
psychiatric assistance.
I would like to know more about what happened with the foster parents and if they were involved. Because my thought is, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, foster kids, you're getting some money from the government for them. And I feel like you should be able to be like, can we get some more money for taking a haunted child? Like,
that was part of the question. That was part of the conversation.
The goths walk into the, oh man, what's it called? Where the children live when they don't have parents. The
orphanage.
Yeah, goth kids walking to the orphanage. Y'all got any haunted ones around here?
Yeah.
That's a real rage right now.
We're looking for some of them haunted.
Maybe the child of a killer.
I don't want a regular child. Only a haunted one, or possibly one who's been so traumatized that they'll be haunted.
That's seeing visions and stuff. One of them unique ones.
All the kids are like drawing with crayon on the wall, but there's one that's like just got the pentagram going and is chanting like.
That's our kid. That's our one right there.
Got any Manson family children available?
Yeah, I know what we're talking.
That's a request right there.
Looking for lineage to the Manson family. Anyone? No, it's interesting. But I do think that there is a possibility. Obviously, we brought up James Randi. James Randi's a famous debunker, and there's a great document. He's passed away. Great documentary.
Oh, I was about to ask, is he still with us? But
he passed away
last time I saw him. Yeah,
but there's a great documentary if you look up James Randi on wherever. Look him up. You'll see the documentary, which is a fantastic documentary. One of the best tricks that James Randi ever did was he lived the life as a gay man and never told anybody.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. He was a gay man, and he had a really upsettingly young boyfriend that was like an illegal alien or something.
Well, but exactly. That's part of the documentary. But he was, he was gay at a time when you couldn't be gay and out and so forth, and lived his life that way and never really even, I don't think, came forward.
I lived to be 92.
I heard your thing weird there, Bob, at first. I understand that because when you said he lived his greatest criminals, he lived as a gay man. What I thought you were saying is he pretended to be gay as a trick for decades, and then like in his 50s, like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm not gay. This was all just illusion. Yeah. Just like
that would be.
I was like,
that would be an interesting twist on it these days, wouldn't it? Yes, yeah.
I don't know if it's a worth it trick, but I guess it's interesting.
But he was an extremely popular debunker back in the 70s and 80s, extremely popular, and he would go on all kinds of shows back then to debunk all these people, right? And I guess evidently Tina was one of them that he took upon the mantle of debunking, because he used to have and this was back even in the 70s, $1 million if you could prove
I remember
any of this real.
Yeah, telekinesis or any kind of mind power. Psychokinesis. Yeah, bring it into a controlled scientific environment.
Right.
Prove it. Yeah.
This is.
But all you had to do was fool him. You didn't even have to fool everybody. You just had to fool him and get the $1 million, and nobody ever did. So he had put it into. It was like a lottery thing where he put it into a trust, and it it would pay out over time, right? So. But anyway, very interesting that he's linked into this story, which the funny thing is, especially as soon as I read it, you guys jumped in and said, oh, this is all fake because James Randi's involved. So he was such a good debunker that even his mere mention of his name being involved in anything threw it right into the not ever possible scenario.
Just talking about debunkers, because it's whenever I think about debunking and stuff, I always just remember this investigative journal piece where it was with a psychic, and like this, the journalist brings a photo of a boy, and they're like, "Can you tell us what happened to this boy?" And the psychic's like, "Oh yeah, I can tell. Oh, he died a tragic death. It's very sad." And like, "Oh, he did?" Like, "Yeah." And then they're meeting like a cafe, and then they walk out the cafe, and they have the boy walk him like, "Hey, I'm that boy." And she's like, "Oh, are you?" just like she's just like so adamant, like, "Oh, he died a very tragic death at a young age." And then he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm the boy." She's just like, "Oh, well.
What a miracle. You're alive." I was thinking of you in a past life where you look the same.
I was thinking of your past self. Yes, exactly.
The psychics are always so crazy to me because it's just like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, if you really had this power, you would just be rich. You would go find the Nazi gold that's hidden somewhere by talking to the spirit of the Nazi that hid it, or you would guess the lottery numbers every week or whatever. Like, you would just I mean, have all the money. Like, you don't need to get the crystal ball and the light show going on.
Like, I've always said psychics, like they're either terrible people if they really have the power, or they're or like I said, they're bad at their job. Because I'm just like, if you're a psychic, I'll believe you in a heartbeat if you call me and you're like, "Hey, by the way, don't go outside today." Like, I'll believe in you then. But if I got to call you to get the advice, I'm like, you should already know. And if you do already know that something bad's going to happen to me, and you're just like, "Well, he didn't call, so I'm not going to tell him," well, then you're a jerk also. Because I'm like, you're like, Donnell's going to get hit by a car today. Yeah. But he hasn't called me yet, so I guess that's just on him. I'm like, well, screw you then.
The interesting thing is, you're right. I always, when I talk about these, the weird thing is I'm on the fence. So I believe in some of this stuff and don't believe in a lot of it, but there is some of it that I think is really true. Now, but the one of the lines of demarcation is money. If anyone is asking you for money, or money is involved in any way, chances are it's not true.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you bring money into any of these scenarios, then it's all about the money and not about what's happening.
I mean, ghosts got to eat too, man. So.
But apparently they can eat without money.
You can't expect.
Is there ghost currency? Is that where the Bitcoin goes whenever you don't see it?
Yeah, that's where Bitcoin really goes to, is the ghosts.
It's like Ghostbusters. These nuclear reactors don't fuel themselves.
They don't fuel themselves, exactly. But I think that's always the line of demarcation. Is anytime there's money involved, then it all goes out the window. Because interestingly enough, now, have you guys, either one of you guys, ever had an experience that you would call paranormal in any way, shape, or form?
Yes. But I'm pretty sure it's just hallucinations and things like that. No, just
Do you want to talk about it? You want to tell us?
So I grew up in a house that when I was living in it 40 years ago was 100 years old already. And it used to be.
Now it's 140 years old.
Me and my brother shared what I think you would call like a day room that was in the back that used to be a doctor's office.
Creepy.
So people definitely died.
Yeah,
in this house.
We're getting somewhere with this.
Like, this is back. I mean, this is 140 years ago. This is before they really had like hospitals that you went to. Really, like the town doctor.
Went to the doctor, about 50% of them just died.
Yeah, the town doctor he had just an office in his house, and you just went over
died
to his
again. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I guess maybe I'll start washing my hands.
Yeah,
maybe after I take a crap, I should wash my hands before I stick my finger in their wounds. Okay, well.
No, but I used to see like weird like light shadows and things that looked like some kind of spirit or something like down the hall in the in the bedroom at night. But it's I'm sure it was lead paint and a gas leak or something when I was 9 years old.
Yeah, the closest, and this isn't, I would never claim this is paranormal, this was just jet lag, but if I said the closest I've ever gotten to, I'd say anything, was when I was a kid, after flying to St. Louis to visit some family. I was in my aunt's living room, and she had like just a whole bunch of dolls because she's just that person.
Oh, I
Whole
hate
bunch of
dolls. I'm
porcelain
terrified
dolls.
of dolls.
And I was
man.
sitting on the couch and I was definitely dozing in and out of sleep. But at one point, I just saw like all the dolls just turned and looked at me. And then they got like a little bit closer. But once again, I'm like, that was just jet lag and an overactive child imagination.
You think? Okay.
I mean, they never did it again. So if they were, they decided they were gonna, the spirits were like, let's not mess with this one because I've been back to my aunt's house and they never thought to.
She
to
still
do
has all
anything
those
again.
dolls. Goodness.
Well,
gracious.
not anymore, but she did for like a couple different trips.
You didn't see E.T. in there, did you?
No, ET.
Makes money right there.
That's weird. Well, so I actually have had several experiences that I cannot explain. That would not be jet lag. Would not be, and these are as an adult, not as a child. So yeah. So that's why I kind of I don't know about Tina. You're right. I think that Tina was probably disturbed in your assessment
really.
there from our short information that we had. But there are things that have happened that are very weird, and so that fuels my kind of interest in some of these things.
I'll give you like there's definitely weird and curious things. Like I've always said I don't believe in like things like psychics or mental connections like that, but I will say there's something weird about identical twins. Like they just have weird bonds that don't make sense, or like there's even like the stories of like two twins that were separated at birth, and like when they like are found later, they're living like almost identical lives, and I'm like, yeah, there's like once again, stuff, I don't believe in like pure like mental links or psychic stuff, but like there is something going on there. Just like,
but do we know how true are those stories? Because we read about them, but we don't have any fact check going on. It's like oh, it's two identical twins separated at birth. They both ended up named Bob, and they both married women named Tina, and they all had two kids named Kevin and whatever. It's just like, yeah, but that could all just be made
an
up.
uncommon name. I think of that happening.
But no, it could all just be made up.
It could. It's So I've never. So actually, now I was like, now I want to look into one of those and see if there's
do you guys know any identical twins? Either one?
Yes, I dated a twin, just the one.
Really? Are you sure you didn't date both
identical.
Of them?
No. I met both of them, but I only dated one of them.
Because those twins will do that sometimes.
I dated the cool one.
They'll switch out.
But no, they talked about having like weird being able to communicate, without talking and stuff like that. But they wasn't like they were hearing each other's thoughts. They just were so tuned in and so close that they, just had that unspoken language to be able to convey thoughts and ideas.
And that's the reason you're not dating them anymore.
I've always thought identical twins, like, it's just like if I was writing like a crime novel or something, like I'd have identical twins as the killer. But basically just based off of like with their identical DNA and the fact that they look the same, like you can't 100% prove which one did the killing, and then so as long as you can have a reasonable doubt, and you would always have a reasonable doubt because they're you can't they left DNA at the scene. Can you prove whose DNA? And we saw them both into a movie theater together. One of them got up and left, went, killed somebody, came back, and you prove which one it was. They were wearing the exact same outfit. They were doing all so it's just like I've always just like that. I mean, it sounds messed up to say like
you
that.
You think that's why there's no identical twin serial killers, or is there? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there are. They just don't get caught.
There was a case of twins that like there was a murder and they had the DNA, but they couldn't prove which of the guys it was.
Yeah,
so they couldn't convict them.
The Prestige.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, speaking of twins, can we sidebar on another kind of weird story? I just learned this a couple of days ago, but I was having a conversation with someone and we were talking. They were talking about how many kids were in their family. There was someone there that had like 16 kids in their family. Another person had 8. So I wanted to look up. Okay, what's the most kids like a woman ever had in her lifetime? And in 1725, there was a woman that was born in Russia named Valentina Vasilieva, I'm probably butchering that, who had during her life had 69 children.
Yeah,
this is crazy. You ask your
anything.
You ask your that's funny. You ask yourself, well, that seems rough and hard. And let me tell you how much more rough it is. So she only gave birth 27 times.
Oh, they're all twins.
16 pairs of twins.
Oh man.
7 sets of triplets and 4 sets of quadruplets.
She was part of some kind of.
That's
Russian
the most fertile
Olympics
woman
thing.
that ever existed. Like she.
I mean, I'm looking at like the some of the photos of her, and like, yeah, you see, she has this long face of like, this woman's seen some things.
Yeah,
she's lived. It's like she's been through it.
I would say after like if it was me, after like the 5th set of twins, I'd be like, I'm out. I'm done.
You know what happened? The press
I'm doing
got
some
involved.
at-home
They're like, the lady with the most twins.
Yeah. I've always and I mean, it's just my luck, because in my family, I mean, not that these things really run through families, but it's just a weird coincidence that so my dad is a twin, and then
really
not my grandfather, but my grandfather's dad is also a twin, and so they've always said twins run in our family, and they skip a generation. So I'm set up to. I'm part of the generation that should have twins. But that's the thing is, so me and my 2 cousins, none of us have kids yet, and I think it's all because we're waiting for one of the other ones to have kids and get the twins out of the way, so we don't end up being the one, because it's only one. Twins? It's only one person in the generation who has the twin. So there's 3 of us. And we're just all like, somebody needs to get this over with.
What you didn't know, they're like, there's a trust fund that we've been putting money into for the first kids that have the twins.
Maybe, yeah.
But they're not telling you, you know.
I've always had a very hard stance, not hard stance, but I'm just like, well, kind of hard stance, because I would get something done. Like I was always like, when it comes to kids, and it's fluctuated, but it was like 2 or 3. That's what, if I'm going to have kids, 2 or 3. And the only way I've always said, the only way I end up at 4 is if we get to 2 and I don't have a son, I might try for 1 more. And if we have twins, then that's how we get to 4. But then we're done. Like, it's over. I'm not rolling the dice. I don't care if they're 4 girls. I'm not rolling the dice anymore. I don't need any more of my lineage coming out. So I'm getting a step. She's getting something done. There's no more kids are coming out of this equation. So, and I'm just like, no.
You can do foster care. We just Tina is in foster care.
Once they get to where they can crawl, you just go and take them out to the woods and just
there you go.
You know, just go be wild. Go figure it out. It's bringing it back to ghosts and stuff. You were talking about how the haunted look on that lady's face, the one who had 69 children. You know why that probably is? Because she was probably dead when that picture was taken. Because back in the 1700s and 1800s,
I remember
if you ever look at like old black and white photos and you're like, wow, that the old person looks just haunted and like staring into space. It's like they would do family photos after they died because photography was so rare and expensive that you would only get 1 picture done. So it's just like, oh, grandpa just died. Let's prop him up in a chair and I'll stand around the dead body while we take this photograph.
Right.
Dress up people and
scoot in, get closer. Closer.
Yeah, I'd hate to be there. Like, hey, you come sit on grandpa's leg. Like, do I have to? I don't want to sit on the dead man's leg. Okay, that's just a personal preference.
Wait, hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna play a little message and then we're gonna wrap things up.
All right.
This is Jonathan.
And this is Heaven from the Opa Ghost podcast.
And you're listening to Mondo Freako.
Toodles.
Mondo Freako.
Mondo Freako.
Mondo Freako.
And I mouthed all that. See that?
I know. You do the different voices and everything. It's crazy.
Look at that. Mondo Freako. So it sounds like, I mean, from early on, poltergeist thing out the window. This is just an excuse to be in the paper, get noticed. Poor Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not got a chance that this actually really happened, is what you guys think.
Yeah.
Correct.
I
mean, you asked in the quiz at the beginning, like, oh, was it the parents just messing with her? I'm like, and you're saying like, well, maybe there was an incident that happened before and then it started, then they decided to start faking things. There's no reason that can't all be true. That the foster parents might have just messed with her one time and she just ran with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is the story is all told about her and stuff, but I still would like to know. I mean, I'm not accusing them because we don't have evidence either, but I'm like, I want to know what the foster parent, like, what did they have a hand in it? Were they a part of like getting her in front of the media, like that sort of stuff? Because I could like I said, especially back in the day before it was so easy to get yourself out in front of people. I could easily see, not trying to put that. My mom was a foster parent, so I'm not saying they're all messed up, but I could easily see being a foster parent and being like, man, it'd be great if we could, get some more money or be more known, and be like, well, we can abuse this situation, and let's make Tina seem crazy and haunted. And now look, now the cameras are here and people are paying attention to us, and it's just like I said, I'm not accusing them because, like I said, also maybe they're completely innocent because we don't have the proof. I'm just saying I could easily see it either way, and I find it hard to believe that a 14-year-old girl on her own would think up a scheme of being haunted to get famous. And stuff.
Oh, that sounds exactly what a 14-year-old girl would come up with.
I guess I could see them coming up with it, but most 14-year-olds also, like, when things start getting like the press is sort of things are getting like you lose your nerve real quick when you're like, I may have dug a bigger hole than I can
even
handle.
If I believed in like the ghost and poltergeist and all that jazz, and I would still be skeptical, especially since this came out again at the height of the poltergeist movie craze.
Yeah.
Like if this came out in like if this incident had happened in like 1978 or something like that, I mean, I'd still be like, this is dumb, but it would make more sense.
Yeah, if it was more during the bikini car wash phase, I would be a little bit less skeptical.
Like this almost sounds like it was viral marketing for the poltergeist movie.
Yeah,
is what this situation.
Well, I think obviously it had to be of some note because, as we mentioned, James Randi got involved, and he wasn't necessarily. I mean, he didn't just go where the wind blew. He usually was there to disprove things that everybody else seemed to think that was real, like Kreskin and Uri Geller and all these famous people that were, claiming their psychic abilities. He would show up and be like, "Yeah, not so fast, buddy."
I mean, and this is, hindsight, and stuff. We're talking about this in the future after all this has happened and all that sort of stuff. But still, I gotta say, and Robert just pulled it up again, that the photo of her, the phone photo, the alleged, big phone photo, that to me is like, really, you didn't think that looked like it? Really, to me, and like I said, once again, this is me with my hindsight eyes, so maybe that's part of the, I have a bias, but to me, it really looks like, no, see through, like, I'd just be like, see through the phone. Like, the photo doesn't look like if she was sitting there and the phone was like hovering next to her head, but she's like leaned back at an angle and the phone looks like it's moving away from her, where it's like, yeah, she threw the phone and they snapped the photo. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't, their photo, like I said, is not convincing. But once again, it could be because I have hindsight eyes and I'm biased because I already know how the story played out and stuff. So it keeps me from seeing it objectively. I can admit that maybe that could be partly what's going on.
And it is, I'm looking at it as well. I should bring it up on the screen, but I don't want to mess everything up. If I do that, I'll probably
Well, but, so I thought it was funny that the foster parents' names were Joan and John. But interestingly enough, they fostered 250 kids throughout their life, which is just.
And this is the only one that had a poltergeist, apparently.
Yeah.
No, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's why they foster so many kids. They're trying to find another haunted kid. They're like, we got one. Yeah. Gotta get another one.
How many dead children are buried in their basement? That's
how many kids
that place
we
may
go
actually
through
be haunted. Like,
yeah,
that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Well,
I think we can conclusively say, from all of our opinions, that Tina Resch was not the poltergeist kid, and the poor lady gets no credit for anything other than murdering her daughter.
Yeah, let's say she gets some credit for murdering her daughter.
Yeah, I want to know more about that.
Yeah,
that part, because it really sounds to me like the boyfriend did the murdering.
Yeah, and
he went down.
He got away with it.
Because didn't the kid? They'd specifically say that the kid died as a result of an injury while the boyfriend
in his care. Yeah.
So is the boyfriend like? Are they both in jail, or was it just her? Because like, if they're both in jail, I can see it as maybe. Yeah, like I said, we're taking this from a mystery and supernatural podcast into the true crime podcast. Now we're pivoting. Now,
we're pivoting to true crime here.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says here. Conviction and imprisonment. She changed her name to Boyer, which they don't really ever explain.
Yeah,
even though
that's
her
weird.
boyfriend's name was David Heron. Maybe she was. It was on Unsolved Mysteries segment in 1993. The Alfred plea. I'm doing some quick research here. It doesn't really say cruelty to children. It doesn't say what happened to
Well, I
him.
don't know. I'm reading about this. So Amber was the daughter that died.
Right, Amber was the daughter.
And she had a penchant for like jumping out of moving cars.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I don't think I don't think this was a murder situation. I think this kid was just hurt herself.
Yeah. Tuck and roll, Amber.
I mean,
A sad story all around. We got it.
very, very sad. But I mean, could that? I mean, I'm just saying, could that mean that she's not guilty? What if she's not? What if her Alfred plea was legit? Like she knew.
Yeah. So it says, what happened to David Heron? Who is David Heron?
He was the boyfriend.
Okay, was he the boyfriend? Okay.
Yeah.
Said, unfortunately, he had a violent streak. She later mentioned, and she was abused physically, mentally, and sexually by her husband. Well,
Okay, so
Well, this got unfun.
once again, did he go to jail? I'm just saying, did he go to jail?
There's a picture of him going to jail. So
Okay.
I haven't got to
All
that
right.
part, but it looks like he went to jail maybe for something else. But it doesn't.
No, I see here. David Aaron
20
was convicted
years.
of cruelty to children.
Yeah.
Why only 20 years?
But
as a
he got
result,
not
the judge
guilty for the
sentenced him
murder.
to 20 years in prison.
Ooh, he got out in
1995.
2011.
Yeah, so yeah, if he hears this, by the way, he'll know. No,
I live in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That's
I work
I'm
for a
in Pine.
paper company. Yeah, my office is right next to Oscar's, or whatever. Yeah, Oscar was one of the characters on that show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel
so
like we've
yeah, it
really-
took a dark turn.
I feel like we've really gotten away from. When was the last time that they had any kind of supernatural thing on the news or the television? Really, like, I think we've moved past that.
Oh yeah, I don't think
That whole like,
Really?
can move things with my mind and stuff like that was a very like
It's very
70s, 80s,
yeah, very
90s
70s,
thing,
80s kind of
and then
thing,
it's
yes.
fallen off in the new
I think with a
century.
lot of the, like I said, it's kind of everybody, and especially now that we have AI, even more so, we've developed more and more tools where even if, let's say, that supernatural, that sort of stuff was legit, it's so easy with the tools we've made. It's so easy to fake now, where it's like,
True.
it's one of the things like, okay, well, if one person is fake, we all just assume that all of it's fake now. So I'm not saying I do believe or don't believe. I'd lean more toward don't believe, but still, I'm not saying I do or don't believe. But I will say, because you can find 5 million videos online of people with, a ghost, or this is floating, and you can also find, how-to tutorials on how to do those videos yourself, or how to use AI to make it look like, you're moving stuff with your mind. So it's so hard that if someone does thank you if someone does come along and so like, look, I have psychic powers, I'm gonna be like, well, no, that's just some clever video editing, or that's just some behind the scene tricks, or there's like I said, a bunch of magicians have shown us how people could do cold reads and stuff to appear to be psychics, or they've shown us how people can do stuff to make it look like they're moving stuff with their minds. So I'm just like, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I'm just like, I think that's why it's died down, is
Right.
because it's too hard. Even if you did have, like I said, I feel sorry if you are legitly a psychic today. Like if there was literally someone who was a psychic and it's like, no, look at this, I can move this with my mind. Everybody like, no, that's just
No,
some
you
strings, man. And it's like, no, I'm doing it with my mind. No strings. Like, sure you are, buddy. Sure you are. Like, I just feel like if you legitly had powers, you would have the hardest time in the world convincing people, because it's just, everyone would be like, right, no, I've seen this before. He's using the camera and there's a guy back there. I know how it's done. Everybody's a know-it-all too. So they'd be like, no, I know how it's done. It's I know, I've seen a video of this. I know how it's done.
And I think you're right. I think that basically people, kind of like this case with Tina, have taken something that was that may or may not have happened, and then start attributing it to themselves, like they're causing it, right? But that doesn't ever really happen. I mean, you're right. There isn't any convincing evidence to say that people can do that.
Yeah.
And they cannot do it with any kind of regularity or effectiveness that isn't typically, found out to be some type of a trick, like bending spoons or any of that kind of stuff. Or even if you're predicting something, because it's just like everybody can throw like the kid or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that kid died, whatever that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Anybody can make a prediction and it may hit. You just never know. It could be random, right? And things generally people don't bring up, the kid's having ice cream down the block waiting for you to screw up. That's not the prediction. They always want to know about dead people or this or that or whatever. But I don't think that totally precludes the weirdness of things that happen in everyday life that aren't attributable to people, that just happen and you just happened upon them or happen to be in the area when they take place. And I'm also a big proponent on it doesn't have to happen at night. Things can happen at any time during the day and any place, and you just happen to be fortunate enough to be there when it does.
Yep.
And it's not you. It's just you happen to be there. And so those are the kind of things that I find interesting. Unfortunately, this isn't one of them. But there have been some other ones that have happened.
Next time, Bob. Next time.
That's
Bring
right.
us
Next
the real
time,
deal.
I pull these. I actually have, and you guys aren't privy to this ahead of time, but I actually have constructed a database that randomly feeds me these things. And so this was I have it.
Is it AI powered?
No, it is not. I pulled a bunch of data down in different categories, and I click a button, and it draws from that data, and randomizes, and gives me a topic. And then basically, I look at the topic, and I think about who's going to be on with me, and I think, oh, this might be good for these guys to talk about or whoever. And that's why we got Tina Resch today.
Nice.
Now you should create a separate database that randomizes your guest, and then it just says we're going to do this story with these guests. Email sent.
Everybody is not always available. That's always the hard part. So I have to see who's available. But thanks, guys, for being on. It's been a pleasure. I will quote you as non-believers, and you think all it is AI these days.
Yep. That's
but Tina, Tina was popular back in '84, and then she got popular again after she murdered her child.
Yeah.
So all's well that ends well. But maybe not for Tina's child. But,
that's a weird note to end on.
Well, I mean, as crazy as she was, maybe she
got
as
off crazy
that
as she
before.
was. Yeah, she'll come out and she'll be a TikTok sensation once she gets out of jail. But you guys hang on for just a second. We're going to close it out, and we'll see everybody else next time.
Mondo Freako.